Hello guys, welcome everybody to Mando Monday. This is the series where you guys ask the questions and I, of course, answer them. This can be to do with anything related to Counter-Strike Global Offensive, CSGO investing, or any current or future update related one. If that's Source 2, in operation, or something we all hope is coming very soon, that is of course some sort of content, and hopefully not remakes and rehashes of the past two major stickers, that being Antwerp and Stockholm, because that would probably devalue them quite a bit. Now if you guys have any questions regarding any of that, something miscellaneous like myself, Lego, Star Wars, maybe something very niche in the CSGO scene, investing, trading, or whatever, leave it down below of this video or any others, ask Mando, and then ask your question. It's usually easiest and best for me to find it that way. As it goes for this week, as per usual, there's some very juicy questions, quite a few this week actually, and there's a quick PSA that I want to discuss, but firstly, here's a quick word from today's video sponsor. Now today's video sponsor is of course SkinsMonkey. SkinsMonkey is currently the easiest and also fastest way you can buy, but most importantly trade your CSGO skins. All you have to do is make sure you have your trade link, and on your first trade, if you have a leftover balance, it goes towards your current balance that can be used the next time you end up trading skins. It has three ways you can inspect, but most importantly has a very in-depth inspect feature that you can see corners on a karambit, for an example, that you can't really see otherwise unless you have the item in game. If you end up topping up your balance, make sure to use promo code MANDO to get up to a 35% deposit bonus and a free $5 on the first trade. So yes, wow, it's actually uploaded on a Monday. Our New Year's resolution was to upload every Mando Monday this year on an actual Monday, because last year towards the end we started pushing it towards that Tuesday, Wednesday, sometimes even Thursday mark, which at that point I don't know why I even posted it, but hopefully it's going to be every single Monday. There's usually just updates that happen from the week prior that we're still talking about on that Monday. Most recently it's been Stockholm and Antwerp that have been going up so much in price. People would rather have those answers in one big main video before Mando Monday. I also think it's more helpful for people so they don't lose or miss out on some money. Right now the market's actually going pretty insane with minimal updates, which is bad and also a good thing. And well, what I mean by that is if we go down the path we did last year for this one in 2023, things are probably going to start to hit their price limits and probably halt in price and not go up much more. And what could those be? That's a video for a different time. I'm sorry. One more thing. Twitter has been absolutely popping off recently for me. I'm not sure why. We've been getting a lot of traction, a lot of attention on there. I post some pretty cool stuff, especially revolving around crafts and really anything CS related, so go check it out. But with it getting traction, I've got a lot of DMs from people asking me if I can follow them and sign their profile on Steam. I don't necessarily do that because if I sign and follow them on Twitter, that means I have to do it for everyone else, and it's just not really fair. And the reason I don't really sign Steam profiles unless I'm streaming, and usually it's behind a paywall, because I've had two people in the past when I was at like 7,000 subs scam somebody. Wasn't for much, but it's just something to try and prevent that. Okay, on to the questions. I'm serious now. Number one is from Monk on Game, and he says, ask Mando, any thoughts on graffitis? They're pretty rare and high price on the market. So graffitis are very niche, right? As you can take a look at some of the market ones right here, they're just insane in price, manipulated. People also may use this in a way to transfer funds to different Steam accounts. Let's just say I have two different Steam accounts. I want to sell something on this to get funds on another. People will set up something like this. Will they pay an absurd price to get funds across? Is it really ideal? Not really, but sometimes that's usually because of the fact they're similar to patches, but the difference is they're disposable. After 50 uses, they're gone. You cannot use these anymore. That's why people really haven't hopped on board the hype train for these things. The prices you see for a lot of them right now are probably going to be this price for the next little while. I think as an investment, keeping a sealed graffiti of the most popular ones isn't the worst idea in the world. And you spend 50 bucks on a graffiti, well, it's gone, right? Eventually. And you want to be able to flex spraying it every time, but it's just not the case. Our next question up here is from, we're gonna go to Shell, maybe Shell Ha. I believe that's a place in Mexico. Hey Luke, the Rio Challengers capsule reached a whopping 29 cents on the Steam market. Any thoughts of this? Pretty good question. I've seen some traction with Rio as of recently. As of me recording this and picking your question, which was a day ago, it's gone down 1 cent, and the quantity for this anyway is 16,000, which is actually pretty low. Actually, it's extremely low, and that's something we talked about recently in our commentary earlier this week. The reason Rio isn't popular is because we've had so many other majors like Antwerp, Stockholm, the Boardroom sticker capsule, the 10th anniversary, two operations that have transparent, good-looking stickers, and for the most part, they're cheaper than a lot of these because they're actually pretty rare because no one's wanting to unbox them, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to go up in price. That's pretty much how I feel about Rio stickers. Rio capsules. Am I going to buy a few as an investment? Of course, but I'm not going to go, splurging like I would any other year. I just simply don't like these stickers. Even if they did go up, so be it. I just really am not a fan. The only one I'm a decent fan of is probably the Evil Geniuses one. Only one that I'm like kind of fond of, that being the glitter anyway, because of this craft right here. I guess also to note, the low quantity is also going to fluctuate a lot in price, just like with any certain case that's very low or any item on the market. If it's under 20,000, under 1,000, under a couple hundred, it may go from 29 cents to 40 cents in a day, especially especially if it's under that like 20,000 range. So be expected to see FOMOs and things like that. Our next question up here is from Ursus, and he says, what do you think about the mouse foil as an investment? It's more rare to get because it has a pink rarity, and the fact that it's in a capsule that has some of the lowest quantity and it looks good. What if also Stockholm was the last major we received foils and we never see these foils ever again in newer majors? So this has been a pretty common question and also answer we've received this past year. I think CS is slowly transitioning from foils to glitters. I think this is just the new meta. I think they're also a lot more popular than foils, and that's pretty much summing up my answer. I'm not a big fan of foils, especially with this mouse sticker for 2021. The reason this is so expensive is because the holo is rising up so much. But this being a foil versus something like the Virtus Pro, the Pain Gaming, Copenhagen Flames, the reason these are so much better, even Liquid or G2, is because it has that white background. It shines a little more to it. This does not. This looks honestly like a paper sticker, and that's my biggest problem with it. If it had a little more shine, a little more detail to it, I wouldn't mind it, but this looks absolutely horrible, and I would just skip out on this. At this point, if you're going to go with the mouse foil, I would go to a mouse sticker in Rio, specifically the holo, because I think it looks better than this. That's just me. That's just my take. As an investment, they're also very niche. They're not bought up a whole lot. There's a reason they got removed in the first place, because they weren't applied a whole lot. They weren't that popular for one reason or another. But let me know what you guys think on foils. Do you guys like them? Do you think we're going to see them again? I don't think we're going to see them for at least the next 5 years. That's just my take. Our next question up here is from Neb, and he says, ask Mando, do you think collections like the 2018, Inferno, and Nuke collections are worth investing into at this point? Since I see them being in the next map collections, they're going to be rechanged in the next operation, like Mirage and DE Dust 2 were in 2021. So what this guy's saying is Inferno and of course Nuke are going to get rehashes of new skins eventually, and this would be the time to do so, just like how all the other maps were in 2021. Yeah, I think it's going to happen. Now, are these going to be a good investment? I'm not so sure. My thoughts on these things, well, I'll give you mine. These skins are not my favorite. There's a few here and there that are decent. The M4A4 converter, it's very cheap, looks pretty good. The check engine for the USP is pretty good. The CAF skin's also very popular with like NIP crafts, for example, at least some of the older ones, and they're pretty cool. They're just very niche, right? The SG, if this thing were to get buffed in the future, which I don't think it would be, it would go absolutely crazy. It would just have to be like right place, right time sort of thing. I think if new collections did come out, yeah, people are going to want to get these more for a collector's piece, but you're going to be limited to how many people you can sell these to. Like the MP7 Fade, really good looking skin, really rare. Some people don't even know it exists. It's just very niche, especially on top of the fact that no one really uses the MP7 or even the MP5. Just buy an M4, buy a FAMAS, or buy an MP9, or buy Deagle, right? Or buy nothing, full safe. So as an investment sake, not the worst idea in the world, but this in my opinion is also coming down to, if you already have your stickers, you already have your capsules, your cases, your skins, the play skins anyway, for an investment, also you're just playing the game if you do so. These are more of skins I would have as an afterthought as an investment. This is like extra money you'd be getting put into something like this that's a little more niche, a little more risky, a little more ballsy, but the return could be very big. Our next question, more so comment, is up here from Master Disaster. He says, aren't they just making less content because they're focused more on Source 2? So very good question, very understandable. Why you would think this? Well, I would too. I sadly don't think this is the case. I think Valve is actively working on Source 2. This entire year, we've gotten the most leaks and rumors than we ever have before, and we've been hearing these things since 2017, but I think they're just uninterested in CS at the moment. That's why we're getting so little updates. Another reason is because there's so many people playing the game. Let's just say they were to drop an operation, we would have the most operation skins for an operation ever on the market because there's so many people playing the game, versus if they wait a little while to get those players back, and probably not as many skins because there's something called skinflation. We're seeing that with souvenir packages as we speak, and even with older stickers. It'd pretty much be RMR, but for an operation, if that makes any sense. But with the Source 2 added in too, that sounded weird. It does make sense, right? Source 2 is such a big release, and if they mess up in some way, shape, or form where it breaks the game for a couple of days or a couple hours, people may sell their skins and panic sell them, right? It could break the market, break CSGO, give us the players, but also Valve a very bad taste in the mouth, and that's not something they want to do. People freak out if there's a new case being added to the game that they don't like, or a new sticker for an example. How do you think people are going to react if Source 2 crashes the game and makes your skins look like absolutely garbage, right? That makes sense, right? Our next question, more so common as well, up here from Patty. He says, the next agent skins are Fortniteifying the game. I wish they were never added. And what this guy's getting to is, the other day I made two videos specifically. One was a wish list and one was an actual list of updates we're going to get in 2023. This was more so on the wish list, and I talked about the fact that the CSGO is most likely to be adding some crazy agents in the next couple of years. They're getting progressively more crazy, and it feels like they're not like CSGO a whole lot, if that makes any sense. I also talked about an option a lot of people have been wanting, but it's been on the back burner. Not a lot of people have been talking about it. That is an off switch for skins in general, to default everything for CSGO. Now, would they do that? Absolutely not, because I feel like people would just turn it off, and the whole point of buying expensive skins sometimes is is to flex on your teammates, and you wouldn't be able to do that. But having a Sir Miami Bloody Daryl, or Bloody Daryl, Miami Daryl, I don't know, running around the map, screaming in his Aussie accent, as cool as it is, sometimes it gets annoying. The same thing with the Seal. You want to just play with the easy peasy lemon squeezy. You get what I'm saying? Or my example in the video was an op fever dream. Let's just say you want to pick up a regular op or just something that's not like this. The fever dream looks like it's drawn by a 4-year-old's bottom. It's the last thing I want to see in my screen. So getting that and having the option to turn that off maybe at the beginning of your game would be pretty cool. Is that going to happen? Absolutely not. Now, our next question, also comment up here from Jordan. He says, it's funny how the stock market and crypto went to absolute trash, but in CSGO investors thrive. CSGO, but also Lego investors, my friend. I don't really invest in a Lego. I just have a bunch of sets that went up this past year. But both markets are going crazy. The reason being, they're not regulated, they're not being controlled, and it's by the fans and by the public. And that's where these two things, mainly CSGO, thrives the most out of any and over any game. There's a huge saying, you vote with your wallet, right? You really do that in CSGO. If we don't like something, like the REMADE stickers, they're probably not going to release anything like this again because we bought so little of them, and Valve's not going to want to waste a major and them losing so much money, if that makes any sense. So if we don't like something, we don't buy it, therefore it just goes to zero, or just the supply and the demand gets all mixed up. But if we like something, like the Nuke Nightmares and Recoil case that came out this past year, we're going to unbox them like crazy, and that's going to shoot up the price and investments quite a bit, not just for those, but for other things in the market. That was just a very brief example, but you kind of get the picture. Now, our next question up here is from Trading Cards, and he says, do you think people will FOMO on the Dust 2 souvenir packages when they get removed from the shop? Very good question. I covered this when Dust 2 originally got removed, and essentially yes, and it's actually already happened, and it might actually happen again. So what we saw when Dust 2 got removed is these packages were shooting up to $15 almost on the Steam market. Were they getting bought at those prices? Most likely not, probably 10 to $8. They're stable around 6 to 8. The problem is the oversupply with these major souvenir packages because of this said update. And that's pretty much killed an investment and people probably wanting to unbox these in the next couple of years because it devalues the skins. Also, the fact that you're unboxing one of these, let's just say for 2022, is pretty bad. As it goes for older packages that have Dust 2, like Antwerp and Stockholm, they could be pretty good because they have the transparent stickers. But the problem with souvenirs, once again, is you can just remake them. And that's the problem with souvenirs nowadays. It just doesn't really mean anything. I think a FOMO could happen, but I think that time has passed, my friend. Our next question up here is from the Cringe, and I actually like this one quite a bit. And he says, should I invest into cases? Right now would be the time. Everyone's focus is on these new stickers, especially on Stockholm and Antwerp because they have gone up so much in price. And everyone's attention, especially as an investment, is straying away from cases. Now, they're still being opened quite a bit, a lot more than capsules are. It's just they're not in the main limelight on YouTube, social media, and people's inventories. Because they're not being talked about, some of them are selling for pretty cheap. If you can, definitely go in now. Those are something that are also going to be a lot more stable, the long term anyway, than something like a sticker capsule that could FOMO up and down throughout the year. Now, our last question up here is from Mark, and he says, hi Luke, I do have one question. Do you think that the transparent stickers are going to be back in the next major after the success of the Rio stickers? Thank you for all the content. Big love from Spain. Thank you, my man. I love you, brother. Now, what he means by success is the big failure. The numbers for these have been out, they've been released, and while no one's crafting with them, the application rates are the lowest they've been in almost 10 years. And that's quite saying something. We've had some bad major stickers here and there. I do think there's a decent chance we'll have something like transparent stickers, but I think that time and that boat has kind of sailed for Valve. If they did that, I think that would really mess up the community. It'd get me mixed up, man. But it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I have a commentary coming out later this week on how Valve is pretty much digging themselves a grave if they do this, and they kind of already are because they had the two best major stickers that people asked for a decade back to back, and now we're going from the best major stickers to the worst we've seen in a very long time. How do you think people are going to react? Not very well, and that's exactly what's happened. Because the next major, what are they going to do? If it's on par with Rio or just a little bit better, people are still not going to be happy. But to top that, it's not going to be very good. So I have a couple concepts here and there that I'm going to use, like our boy CNK over here on Twitter. Go check him out. He's some pretty cool concepts, and he'll be a part of the commentary later this week as well. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's episode of Mando Monday. I sure did, especially it being on an actual Monday. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Stay positive, stay sexy, stay out of trouble. Peace out.